Hello again, everyone. Happy Sunday. I am Gary Gonzo. Welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of Round 4 of Season 8 of the longest continuous running DW12 series on iRacing today. It's the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving, coming to you tonight from Iowa Speedway for The Joy of Driving 200. Qualifications currently underway with about 45 seconds left to play. And before we go lining up to race tonight, joining me as always in the booth is the Catalyst Andrew Wood. Andrew, good to have you here. Looking at a new scan of the racetrack, maybe it handles a little bit differently. Might turn into a bit of a tire wear war of a race today. Also might be a little bit of a fuel save as well. But good to have you here, and we get to compete against basketball here in the Heartland. Here at the Corn Country, it's IndyCars, and back home, it's going to be the Pacers playing in the championship Game 7, so good to have you here.
There's so much to unpack there, Gary. It's great to be with you again, and we're back here on a Sunday night. We originally had last week scheduled, but happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, a week late. Why not have 2 Father's Days in a row?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're back here, and we're back racing at Iowa Speedway tonight, and looks like we have a nice, decent turnout here. And yeah, it doesn't look like the Pacers game has turned away a lot of these guys. They want to go racing, and I have a feeling that this race is going to be very much like you said. It's going to be a nice tire-saving race. It's going to be a fuel-saving race, but who knows what can happen with strategy as it gets tossed up throughout the race.
And we are getting ready to line up to go racing here. The weather conditions before we get to the starting lineups, 70 degrees on the ambient, 95 on the track. So it's not too terrible out there. 200 laps are in front of us tonight. That's going to go by pretty quickly here when you think roughly about 17 seconds a lap. Let's get into tonight's starting lineup. You can get some stuff off the screen here. Here we go. And on the pole, and that is very close to a real-world track record, I believe. Yeah, that actually beats the track record that Peterson set with a speed of 192.7. The current track record is a 188.2 by Scott McLaughlin. I thought maybe when the cars were in their DW12 configuration, kind of like what we're seeing here today, they would have been up in the 190s with all the little aero bits they had on them, but that is not the case. And Peterson, with the new configuration of the track, new scan of the track, on the pole with a 192.7. Right next to him in Martins with a 192.6. Murph a 192.5. Clindy a 192.5 as well. Look at these 192s. Eckert and Wagner row 3 at a 192. Jeremy and Santos on row 4 also in the 192s. And finally, we go into the next brackets, which is 191. Pretty darn fast if you think about it. Dinsdale and Marcamini back in 9th and 10th.
One thing I do notice is that our championship leader, Eric Schaus, is not here tonight. So this is a good opportunity for Mark Murphy to close in on him a little bit in that championship run there, and gives an opportunity for some of these other guys that are sitting in the top 5 of this championship to try and have a good finish here tonight and see if they can make their stake in this championship going forward. It's still early in the season, and a lot can happen here. So very curious to see what happens here, and if someone makes a name for themselves tonight, which you never know that could happen, and someone could just kind of show up on this new scan and this new situation here, and it'd be good enough for them.
It's Pahusky and Teed on row 6. Johnson and Lovern row 7. LGN and Highsong back on row. We'll watch row 8. Watch LGN come up through the field here. Anderson and Coker in row 9. Wilson and Salvador back on row 10. We're going to go green next time by. Jomo joins us in the lineup tonight. He is back on row 11 with Iker Peguero. That is your 22-car field here tonight.
I like that Jomo nickname. I have not heard that one yet, so I'll make sure to use that one going forward for our long-term Joseph Morales.
He might not like it. I gave it to him. It seems to have stuck. I mean, it's no Catalyst level nickname, but
Hey, we can't all be the most revered kind of guy around here. So
Getting ready to go green flag racing. Remember, we started this season off 3 races, 3 different winners. Doing it 4 for 4. We shall see. Green flag getting ready to be shown in the air. Here we go at Iowa for the Dark Horse Racing Series Season 8, Round 4.
very clean start throughout the field. Looks like the outside line got going a little bit better than the inside line. Watching back here around 13th place or so, they got a little bit checked up, but clean start all around.
Murph slides up in front of Peterson and takes the lead, but Peterson dives down low, back at 1 and 2, and gets it on back. Murph's going to stay right there in the big hole that Peterson is punching in the air, and he's going to take a shot at him, and now it looks like, I'm going to say probably on the front straightaway here if he can get close. Otherwise, Peterson starts to pull away. Meanwhile, his teammate Teed, there he is. He's up one spot already, and he's going to take a 3 wide off of, nope, he's not. They decided to end that one real quick. I thought they're going to take it 3 wide off of 1. Peterson, fastest lap, out in clean air.
Yeah, these guys are definitely taking to that paved part of the track down here in turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Everyone's trying to use that grippy part of the racetrack to try and get some sort of advantage on the cars ahead of them. And looks like it's kind of thinning out a little bit single file for the most part, but who knows what some of these guys in the mid-pack have going on. They may be saving a little bit of fuel.
Getting all bunched up behind Casey Pahutsky, Charlie Teed, Turner, Lover, and LGN, all right there in a group together.
We have a little incident in turn 3 there.
Car in the wall, and that is Clindy. And we're going to see what happened here on Clindy. And he is side by side with, I'm not sure who he's with side by side there down the backstretch. Oh, that might have been Wags, and they make wheel contact going into 3 and sends Clindy up into the wall. And, Turner Johnson, I think might have rolled through the zone and grazed Clindy a little bit.
Looks like his car is okay, but it looks like a little bit of an arc that Clenworth was taking into that corner, just kind of coming down the high side of the track, and it looks like a little bit of contact, but there might be a little bit of netcode involved in that as well.
We will be paying attention to the scores of what's going on in Oklahoma City, Game 7 of the NBA Finals, the OKC Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers. Still early, Pacers up 5-4 with 8:58 remaining in the first quarter. We've got some takers on pit road, it looks like. Jomo, Salvador, Anderson, Hysong, Turner, Teed, Eckert going the pit road. That should raise some eyebrows. He likes to play the fuel game in these cars.
Still a bit early for some of these guys to come down pit lane right now, so I think that some of these guys might be playing a little bit of the long game right now, especially the ones that stayed out. So may see some of these guys do a little bit of a fuel save that stayed out, especially knowing that some of those guys pit behind them. You don't want to get stuck out on the pit lane with knowing that some of the guys behind you have pitted already. So it'll be interested in seeing if these guys actually make any progress to the pack or if they're going to stay exactly where they are.
Tonight's rule set is a fixed setup provided by the league. We are at 72% fuel, and I asked, that seemed an awfully random number, and the reason why they chose 72% is it's going to be a little bit of a fuel save, and it makes it a 3-stopper, and that makes sense to me. So a 3-stopper here tonight for sure, unless we get lots of caution, and then maybe we start dipping into the 2-stop territory, but we shall see. We are a caution right now at lap 9, coming to lap 10. Lights are still on the pace car. Pit road speed limit is 40 miles per hour. This is a 0.85 of a mile oval. And we're doing
Might
200
seem
laps.
might seem like a nice short oval situation, but it runs pretty much like a super speedway. So you're going to see a lot of these guys that don't have a lot of rest going down the back straightaway and trying to figure out where they're going to place their car into turn 3.
Yeah, it's a 0.85 of a mile D-shaped oval, very similar to Richmond with a little bit more banking and a little bit bigger of a racetrack. Richmond is 3/4 of a mile. It's a little bit bigger. But again, go back to your point with the lights out on the pace truck, and we'll go green next time by. Not a lot of time to rest around here. The front straight is not a straight at all. It's a constant arc, and it keeps you guessing. The backstretch is the only time that you have your tires straight on this entire lap, but it's for what, maybe 5-6 seconds, and then you're back into a corner. So yeah, you are working an awful lot here, and it requires a lot of forward downrange attention. We're doing 200 laps, 170 race miles here tonight, and it's going to go by really quick, as we mentioned. 17-second laps, 18-second laps. This race will fly by. And here we go, green flag in the air. Murph brings us down. It is Murph, Peterson, John Martins, Wagner, and Santos, your top 5.
Another clean start. Looks like everyone's getting through pretty cleanly. We got 3 wide down the back straightaway right now. And
LGN. Oh, LGN just decided to keep it on the bottom. Husky was on the wrong side of that battle. He was up high. Here's Gary Lovern taking a look down low, but I think LGN's going to do a little bit of an arrow block there and keep that position for himself. LGN up 6 spots already, the P9.
Coker has actually picked up a couple spots as well in that restart, and he's challenging these guys up ahead.
Whoa, contact! And Gary Lover goes into the wall. Now is contact.
That was a great restart by Coker, but unfortunately it kind of all culminated there in the entry to turn 1.
Yeah, we'll try to speed this up here and give you an idea of the replay. Coker get a good run here off the corner. He just really kind of sent it down in the 1. Here it is. Watch this. He gets it. He kind of arcs it into 1 earlier than everyone else. Gets to the bottom and then into the back of Lovern, unfortunately. Lovern looks like at least a new front nose. He'll be able to come to pit road and get the fast repair, and we are back under caution.
Sometimes when you get these good restarts, you feel like you're on top of the world, and you can kind of make any move you really want to do here. And it looks like Coker got a little bit too ambitious trying to get his way towards those cars that were up ahead of him, and unfortunately it just culminated in those cars all kind of piling into turn 1, and there was contact.
But Lover now out of the pits. Where does he slot in here? Does he get the wave around, or is he going to have to slot in behind one of the leaders? I think he's going to be behind our leader. So again, and some of these camera angles, I apologize in advance. We see parts of the fence morphing in and out. This is a new scan of the racetrack, so the camera angles are off just a little bit with the custom cameras. If it becomes a problem, just let me know in chat, and we will switch back to the default cams that that iRacing gives us for these. If you enjoy our coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. Tonight's Iowa 200 of the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's Sim Racing Adventures, full of sharp driving and sharp wit. Subscribe to his YouTube channel or follow him on Facebook. All the links you need are in the description. Also, tonight's race has been brought to you by 4D Racewear and SimWrap Market. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's description and check out SimWrap Market. It's your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. SimWrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download, customize, race. Going green, and next time by here, lap 17 coming to 18 at Iowa, and our second caution of the day. We haven't any takers on pit road again. Yeah, we did. Pahutsky, Highsong, Salvador, Peguero, Joseph Morales, all those drivers again came in at lap 15 to top off one more time. There are no tire limits. You can put on slap on as many sets of tires as you want. And we come off the 4. Murph is your leader again, getting the green flag and a good jump. And he had a bit of a buffer behind him with Gary Lover, one lap down because of that last incident. And then Eric Peterson and John Martins, Matt Wagner and Edson Santos, your top 5.
So we've got a nice clean restart there. There were some guys that really wanted to try and make some sort of move, but it seems like they wanted to be patient and wait for the first lap to kind of play out how it was. We have a couple of guys up here around 9th or 10th or so that are too wide. Looks like LGN actually was one of those guys that wanted to make a move, but it looks like he might just be kind of hanging out and waiting for some stuff to happen ahead of him as they go too wide ahead of LGN.
That's Dinsdale and Marcamini. In fact, Dinsdale goes purple that lap, a 186.3.
Brings
Think
LGN
about it.
with him.
Think about how fast that is, 186 miles per hour on a track shorter than 1 mile. And Dinsdale again, a 186.8.
Dinsdale's bringing LGN with him towards the front here. Looks like there's a nice pack ahead of Dinsdale that's trying to work themselves out right now. Those cars are kind of packed 2 by 2 going through turn 1 and 2 right now, being led by Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner is definitely ready to make some moves going forward, but Peterson's kind of hanging right in there, and Peterson's going to do the over-under and make his way on the inside of turn 1.
Dinsdale sets another purple lap. Again at 187.1. He is the fastest car on the racetrack at the moment. Oh, contact again, and the same thing we saw happen with Clindy just happened with Eric Peterson going into the turn 3 wall, bouncing off a little bit of netcode, and Matt Wagner going into the corner.
Yeah, that was a very, very exact same incident that that Clemworth just went through about 15 laps ago there. Looks like Wagner tried to make the move on the inside, but unfortunately the connection did not agree with where those cars were there.
That is unfortunate. That's Eric Peterson. Sorry, I flipped on Eric Anderson there, but we'll watch this again. And we'll make it a little bit faster. And we'll slow it down at the moment of contact. It's pretty clear it was netcode. And here it is. And yeah, not even a half. It was a half a car width there at least.
It looks very close. It didn't seem like it was that much of a difference of the lines they were taking to the corner. I thought they both would have made it, but unfortunately, it seems like iRacing had different fates for both those drivers.
So a number of cars came to pit road this time. John Martins came to pit road. Wagner comes to pit road. Murph comes to pit road. Edson Santos to pit road. Vitor coming to pit road. Shane Dinsdale coming to pit road. Eckert back on pit road. Jacob Wilson on pit road. Turner, Johnson, Clindy, Eric Anderson, Salvador, and I think Peterson is still getting work done on pit road. Staying out are the top 3, LGN, Marcamini, and Shane Coker. they must see a future with more cautions, which is probably not too bad of a crystal ball call here, looking how we've started kind of early. It might be a good call to stay out and keep that track position.
Once you see how the behavior of these other cars are going, then that's actually a really good call. But hopefully these drivers are saying to themselves, man, I just want to get a nice long green flag run in here. And we've had that happen in the series in the past couple weeks here. So I don't see why this could happen again. So you're only one incident away from getting a long green flag run. So it's best to try and make your pit stop now and see what happens once we go green again.
So the top three are on 25-lap-old tires. Everyone behind them, Teed came in at lap 8. He has 18-lap-old tires. Then we have a group of drivers that came in at lap 15. Haisong, Pahutsky, Pagero, they all came in at lap 15. They're 11-lap-old tires. And then Murph in P8. We'll get the camera on him here momentarily. There he is. He is the first car with the freshest tires now. They just all stopped here at lap 25. Lights are out on the pace truck. We will go green next time at lap 27, coming to 28. It will be LGN, Mateus Marcamini, and Shane Coker, the top three, bringing us back up to speed as LGN very slow through the corners, packing that field up. And he is getting himself a big run. It's still on the exit of 4, down to the bottom of the racetrack. And LGN pulls away by 5/10 going into turn 1.
Looks like Mark Murphy's made his move on Iker Pagero. Looks like those guys that did the pit stop there are a little bit behind. Pagero's falling through the field a little bit. But yeah, you're right. Luis Gonzalez Nunez has definitely... we got contact at 4, I think everyone's made it. Vitor Guillermo has made it through the front straightaway.
No,
there.
he didn't. No, he didn't. And we're cautioned again. He didn't hit anything, but he ended up going sideways, coming back on the racetrack, and that was enough to trigger the caution. And we are back under caution here again at lap 30.
It seemed like that incident had everything started ahead of Vitor, and unfortunately he couldn't prevent the car from getting into any sort of trouble on the exit of the front straightaway there going into turn 1. So unfortunate for Vitor there. I think he gets away without much damage actually because he ran through the infield there. And yeah, it's very unfortunate for Vitor. But I don't think anyone got a race-ending incident there.
And it's all kind of, it all started on the restart when they all got piled in behind Pagero. Pagero then runs into the back of Wags, loosens him up, and Vitor goes to the grass. We're just watching the replay here. Vitor then tries to come back up on the racetrack. And we'll try to go back a little bit farther just to see what happened with him here. He just kind of drove into the zone.
Just a little bit of the side of the, yeah, looks like a little bit into the side of the car there.
And then his wheels have all sorts of dirt and grass on them, and yeah, they're not going to stick as soon as he gets back onto the banking. And we're back under caution. Wags hit pit road.
To talk about strategy right now.
Yes, it is.
It seems like like I mentioned before, you're only one caution away from getting a long green flag run in. So it's quite possible that these cars are just setting themselves up for a nice green flag run right now. If you're in the back, might as well come in and get some new tires on the car, get yourself fully fueled, and then hopefully this will be the stint right here where you get a long green flag in.
And the gamble to stay out is paying off for LGN, Marcamini, and Coker. They've decided to stay out again on this caution, and they will hold on to their track position. A number of drivers did come in again to top off exactly on that strategy you were talking about. They get a new set of tires, top off the tank. Salvador, Vitor, Jomo, Wagner, they all came to pit road. Probably Wagner to get some damage looked at, but top off the tank, get a new set of tires, and kind of set yourself up now pace-wise at the back of the field. If this goes to a green flag run, they are in prime position to make up a lot of track position and have a bit of an overlap when they do get to the front, that they might be able to catch a lucky caution, and that's kind of what they're lining up to do. We're at lap 32 of 200, coming to 33 right now in Oklahoma City. With 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in the first quarter, it is 18 around, 18 apiece right now for the Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder.
Who do you think is going to win tonight, Gary? I had to ask now.
I'm like I said, I'm from Indianapolis area, so I'm very much a fair weather Pacers fan. I thought they ran out of gas about 3 games ago. And then the last game they were in the force to game 7 at the field house. They just laid a hurting to OKC there. I think it was the biggest blowout of the series by any team, and I'm hoping they didn't kind of spin themselves out there. I'm hoping, I'm praying, I got fingers crossed, but if they don't, it's kind of the story of the Pacers franchise in Indianapolis, for that matter. It's so close, but yet so far. Green flag in the air, and LGN takes the lead again by 5/10 going into turn 1.
I'm watching the Mark Murphy.
Oh, Santos, a black flag. And I'm not sure how he got the black flag. We're going to have to go back and see what happened on this replay real quick. Did he pass somebody? He's kind of stuck behind Peguero. Oh, and he passes before the start-finish line. Well, I don't know where the green came out, but he's getting a black flag for it. We're back to live racing.
Looks like the cars have sort of gone pretty spread out for the most part.
Oh, contact between
Peguero
and Santos, who has the black flag, and we're under caution again. And I gotta imagine Santos, and he's furious. He just toes right away, goes to the pits, and he is out. Not only do you get a black flag from that car, but then a couple laps later, the car that gave you the black flag because they were kind of draggy on and slow on the restart puts them into the wall.
Trying to see if there was any other cars that were collected there. Looks like Charles C. just got by. But yeah, I think that's the end of Edson Santos' night right there.
And here are the points coming into today. Schaus, who is not in the lineup, he has, and here comes our leader to pit road. LGN, Marcamini staying out, Coker coming to pit road. Schaus is your leader. He will, depending on how this shakes out, may or may not still be the points leader after today's race. If Murph gets a good finish, I suspect Murph will probably get up and pass Schaus. Murph is second. John Martin's third. Craig Forsyth fourth. Craig not in the lineup tonight. Matt Wagner fifth. Casey Pohutsky sixth. Jacob Wilson seventh. Peterson in eighth. AJ Hobson not in the lineup. He's in ninth. And Gary Lovern in 10th. And LGN rolls out back behind the queue. He will get back on the racetrack and slot in behind Joseph Morales in 16th. Like Casey Pohutsky also came to pit road one more time. And there we see Peterson, I believe, getting his lap back. Leo Salvador coming to pit road. But I'm seeing Edson Santos has retired. So we are going to go green. Not next time by yet. Lights are still on the pace truck. At lap 40 of 200. Marcamini now picks up the lead by staying out. Teed, Hysong, Murphy, and Martin's your top five. Marcamini is yet to make his initial pit stop. He is now 39 laps on his current set of tires and tank. Teed is 32 laps into his run. Hysong is in the third. He is 25 laps into his run. Murphy is fourth. He is 15 laps into his run.
That seems like Marcamini is just trying to do his best. He sees all these cautions happening right now, so it might be a better idea for him to stay it out and see what happens here.
I don't think it's a bad strategy at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when it comes to the point, if we do get a green flag run where he's going to need to come in and a caution comes out right after that, he's going to go right back to the front again on fresh tires. So once you do this long strategy, you kind of made your bed, and once you do it, it could work out, and we'll see what happens for Marcamini from here.
We suspected, with the intelligence that was given to us on the fuel stints here for a full green flag stint, it can be anywhere between 48 and 51 on a full green burn, but we've now had, 5 cautions already in the first 40 laps here, so I would imagine Marcamini could probably get closer into the lap 60s before he needs to think about coming to pit road for the first time.
About to go green here. Marcamini is going to be on the lightest fuel, so he should be able to pull away a little bit. We'll see what happens when it comes to the corners and see if these guys behind that have already made their first pit stop make any ground on it.
John Martins and Rafi Eckert, two of the Leader Energy cars. They were racing pretty hard going into turn 1.
Let's talk about Kyle Klemmer for a second, who was involved in that first incident. Now he finds himself in the top 10 again, and on a different strategy from the leaders, but after that first incident, he got that incident out of the way, and now he finds himself in a raceable position that if he gets himself some nice pit stops going forward, he can find himself back up front again.
Teed to the low side of Marcamini out of 2 and gets the spot. Move Teed to the lead. Marcamini back to second. Murph now up to third. Hysong back to fourth. Now Martin's up to fourth.
Jeff unfortunately left a little bit of the door open there and got a little bit freight train there, but he's still within striking range. So Jeff Hysong, it doesn't seem like he had the best qualifying run that he probably would have wanted. There's a little bit of a close moment there coming out of turn 4, but still within striking range of these leaders up ahead.
John Martins goes purple on that lap right before. Now Peterson goes purple with a 188.2. Peterson back in 17th spot with a repaired car.
Rafi Eckert's trying to measure up Hysong right now. Gets the spot, so move Eckert up to P5 and Jeff Hysong back to P6. It's getting a little bit dicey up towards the front. Teed still leads, but looks like Marcamini is still kind of hanging in there. He wants to try and run a little bit offset of that car up ahead to try and have the clean air, but Marcamini also has the older tires than these guys around, and Murph is ready to pounce as soon as he can.
Now we're seeing hopefully I'm not jinxing it when I say this, now we're starting to settle in a bit of a rhythm now.
Well, don't jinx it too much, because this is the longest green flag run we've had yet. So if that's the case, then we're looking pretty good from here.
Here is Teed, your leader, right behind him, Marcamini. Murphy, John Martins there, appearing in the tail end of the picture, and then his teammate Rafi Eckert in 5th. And then right behind Eckert is Hysong. Lovern.
It was Piguero again. Piguero got on the inside of Gary Lovern there, and it's like a little bit of a netcode hit, but Lovern's now towed and in the pit lane.
Watch this run coming down the backstretch. Peguero goes to the inside. And again, very similar to what we saw with Clindy, very similar to what we saw with Peterson. Not even a full contact, but enough of a netcode contact to send Lovert into the wall for the second time.
This is several incidents with Peguero now, and unfortunately, I think the admins might have to step in here and make some sort of declaration that these guys need to be a little bit cleaner with each other on this track, especially when you're racing on these side-by-side moments where there might be a little bit of an internet issue going on. So we'll have to see if they step down on that, because I'm sure that these drivers are itching for a green flag run and not just kind of turn this into a strategy kind of race as we see the leaders come in.
Yeah, everybody come to the pit road as it seems here, as now even Mark Amini says, I'm going to go ahead and make this my first stop. Problem is him coming into pit road with everyone else that have had a stop sooner than his. He's going to be a longer fill, and he's going to lose some spots here on pit road just by nature of needing to put more fuel in the tank than everyone else.
Well, it's still a net gain from him when he was starting in the teens. And yeah, he has a longer fill, but he's going to find himself still sitting in a better spot than he would have if he had just done a straight-up race himself. And he does come out in second here.
No, he doesn't really lose anything by making the stop now. Now, Clindy stays out. He did not come in at this pit stop. So at one point, he was in the wall in turns 3 and 4. Now he is your leader. He is first. Johnson is in second. Wilson now third. Coker fourth. Peterson now fifth. Everybody that pitted on lap 53 is teed on back for P8. So those that didn't stop, it's Clindy, Johnson, Wilson, Coker, Peterson, Pahutsky. And then Joseph Morales made a late stop, so he gave up his track position but coming to pit road right now. So only the top 6 did not stop.
It seems like we've been racing forever, Gary, but we're only a quarter of the way through the race right now, so it's all to play for going forward here.
At least 2 more stops for everybody, we think, to get home. And if you have not seen it yet, the NTT IndyCar Series raced earlier today. This was Road America weekend. And not a surprise winner. Not a surprise winner at all. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know who's seen the race and who hasn't.
I'll just say it's quite astounding. I'll leave it at that.
Lights are out on the pace truck. We're going to go green next time by. Kyle Glenworth, the Indy Oval Series champion. He is your leader. He will bring us to green. Turner Johnson is second. Jacob Wilson, who finished on the podium in an earlier race this season, doing pretty good right now. Admittedly, still learning these cars. Oh, Turner Johnson blinks out, comes back. Shane Coker in fourth. Eric Peterson in fifth.
I'm interested to see what Mark Murphy does on this restart, because he's been very aggressive on these restarts, and he's someone who has finished well at a lot of these tracks in the DW12, and I think he'll be ready to pounce on these cars once we get going again.
Green flag, green flag.
Pretty clean restart from top to bottom here. It seems Murphy, actually, I might have jinxed him. He fell back a little bit from Mark Amini. He's got about, I don't know, 10, 12 car lengths back, but he's got a lot of action going on behind him between Martins, Eckert, Haisong, and Dinsdale. The top guys seem to have gotten away nicely, 2 by 2 going through 1 and 2. Your leader is still Glenworth.
Pahutsky way up high, giving a spot to Mark Amini and to that is Teed. Teed is with the black tires. Then you see Eric, where is his teammate? Peterson is in fourth. He has the orange tires.
Turner Johnson is taking the lead from Clemworth going into 1 and 2 last lap. Clemworth just hangs on the right rear of Turner Johnson going through 1 and 2 again. You may just want to kind of hang there and see how it works because they're kind of pulling away from Jacob Wilson in third place right now. As I say that, Clemworth gets a little bit dirtier. Wilson gets the run out of the exit of turn 4, makes the move in turn 1 and 2, and Wilson is now set P2.
Turner Johnson was setting the purple laps earlier in the race. He has a lot of pace, and he is your leader right now, coming to lap 61. Jacob Wilson is in second. Lindy is in third. Eric Peterson fourth. Shane Coker in fifth, and they are all together right in your screen. We've started the season, 3 races, 3 different winners, and right now we're already a quarter of the way into this one. Could we see 4 for 4 to start the season?
Wondering if Clemworth's got a little bit of a problem. He went from the lead all the way back to P5 and seems to be kind of falling back and not really able to fight back too much, and I'm wondering if it might just be taking the wrong line or have some sort of issue where his momentum's kind of fallen a little bit. As we see, the top 4 are very much on top of each other. You could throw a blanket over these guys. Coker kind of finds himself to be the sandwich there, but gets out of it and runs down the front straightaway in the draft here. So I think he might take the high line as he does, and he is going to try and ride that outside line over Turner Johnson. Turner Johnson's now kind of lost his footing from the lead as well, as we see Eric Peterson has moved to the front.
Jacob Wilson got a sniff of the lead for about a half a lap until he got passed again by Peterson. Peterson from the wall to the lead. He is now your leader right now. Wilson looks yellow.
John Martin's got put in the wall in the back straightaway. A little bit of a tough situation there between Mark Murphy and I believe that was Pahutsky he was side-by-side with, but I think everyone's gotten away with it clean. But that was a very, very close moment to another caution there.
Yeah, there you see, and he was forgiven. He got put into the wall in the middle of the backstretch. You watched his front wings crumple up, and then they straightened back out, so he was kind of forgiven, but we'll watch this one more time. And it really starts with Pahutsky getting a big push off the corner, almost getting in to the left rear of Murph, and then he puts Martins into the wall, and Martins bounces off it, but springs back in the shape. Near disaster. You're absolutely right there.
Watching the battle between Coker and Wilson, it's side-by-side for third place. They've gone side-by-side for 2 straight laps now, but Wilson's got the advantage over Coker as Wilson takes P3 now right behind Peterson. Turner Johnson has managed to find his way all the way back to the front again after kind of losing a few of those spots there. And if we take a look back at Clemworth, he has fallen back. He's still actually in P5 right now. I thought he lost a spot to T there for a second, but he still found himself in a losing spot from the restart there. Unfortunate for him, but still a net gain for him after that incident on the first lap.
Turner Johnson up 12 spots. Jacob Wilson up 16. Shane Coker up 14. That's how much track position matters here with these cars and at this track. And again, even though this is a fixed setup race, remember the DW12s do not have access, the drivers do not have access to the roll bars or to the weight jacker that you would in a fixed setup race for the IR18. So everybody is driving, well, with that. Oh, car in the wall off the corner. That is Mark Amini. Oh, no, he goes right back up into the traffic and takes out another 2 more cars. How did LGN miss that? So this is from LGN's point of view, and he's going to see the car in the wall in front of him. And
that's incredible.
Mark Amini, he just comes back up into the racing line. And how, oh, wow.
I'm looking at Vitor, and Vitor's got a crumpled front of his car as well. He's still going around the track, but he was probably collected in that incident as well. But, well, yeah, once you have a car that's kind of sat in the middle of the straightaway like that, how do you exactly move around to make sure you avoid that? So great job for those guys that were coming down the back straightaway there and had some sort of foresight to to make their moves there to avoid that car that was stuck there.
Ooh. And Vitor into Leo Salvador. I believe they're teammates. I was ready to say Vitor didn't hit a thing, but he ended up, when he went down to the apron, coming back up on the banking, losing the back end of the car. Now he's trying to steer a very crabby car, figuratively and literally, back to pit road. Okay, that was interesting.
Pops the pieces of the car back in the line, and Vitor is back,
Yeah.
underway again.
If you're just joining us, this is P1's Broadcasting's coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving, coming to you from Iowa. For the Joy of Driving 200, we've now completed 74 of a scheduled 200 laps. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Join Mark Murphy and Jacob Collins tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Week 2 of Season 3 of 2025 of the iRacing IndyCar Open Series Monday Night Top Split from Pocono. The Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's sim racing adventures full of sharp driving and sharp wit. Subscribe on YouTube or follow on Facebook. The links are in the description. And also, tonight's race and series also brought to you by 4D Racewear and SimWrap Market. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the stream description. And SimWrap Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint resource templates and broadcast resources. SimWrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download, customize, race. We're going to go green, I believe, next time by coming to lap 76 to 77. Your leader now, just by staying out, is Mark Murphy. Teed is second. Eckert is third. Martin's fourth. Him banging off the wall doesn't seem to impact him. He decided not to come to pit road when a lot of people did, so we'll see when he gets up to speed if he has any side effects from the contact with the wall. Dinsdale in fifth. Dinsdale was setting a lot of purple laps early in this race. We know he has some pace. We're going to see what he does when he gets up in the top five. LGN dodges a bullet last time by. He is now sixth. Pagero is in seventh. Johnson eighth. Peterson ninth. Wilson, who was just battling for the lead, back to 10th after stopping on lap 74. And with 7:14 left in the second quarter, it is 34-32 Oklahoma City.
Murphy's your leader again, leading off here, and he doesn't have to worry about getting a bad start like he did last time, and he is underway, towing along the rest of the field here as they get along very cleanly, very single file. I think that the strategy right now is just to kind of run the car out wherever you are. It's tough in the middle of the field if you're trying to pick a strategy to pit. It seems like a lot of those guys in the middle of the field decide not to pit, and I think going forward, it's going to be a matter of trying to see what your fuel mileage is, what your car can do later on in the stint here. So I'm curious to see how exactly these cars in the mid-pack race in the traffic, because I think every car is going to be racing in the mid-pack after a while. So you want to kind of figure out how your car works there.
John Martin's up the third now. He doesn't seem to be feeling the ill effects of smacking the wall. Watching a really good battle here between Shane Dinsdale and LGN, and they are swapping positions back and forth for 5th and 6th. But this group behind him, led by Turner Johnson, just getting all bottled up behind Iker Pagero. Pagero's trying to stay high, everyone trying to go low. Pagero was up in the top 10 for that restart and is now outside the top 10 at 12.
Murphy's still your leader with Rafi Eckert suddenly peeking into the top 3 here.
Caution.
We have a caution.
And it's Iker Pagero. And it was a big hit, too. And he's on the inside of Clindy. Clindy giving a lot of room.
I think Wagner was the victim that time. I think Wagner, unfortunately, basically just kind of ran him over.
Yeah, Wagner got in the back. Look, Mike, I think maybe Pagero had the lift. Let's go back a little bit further here and just ride with Pagero. We can listen. Lift there coming out of 4. Big lift. Yeah, big lift. And then, yeah, closing rate of these cars. Even though they are an older style IndyCar, the closing rate's still the same. So now we're getting in a situation of guys that have used their fast repairs and those who have not. Those that have used their fast repair, the first car in order who has used their fast repair is Eric Peterson in 7th spot. He has used his 1 fast repair. Turner Johnson has used their 1 fast repair. So they are in 7th and 8th. And Clindy in 11th has used his fast repair. So these guys got to be careful now, as we're not even in the second half of this race yet. And a lot of these drivers throughout the bottom portion of this lineup has used that fast repair already.
Well, this is, I think, our 8th caution now, if I'm counting right. I don't even know if you've been counting, but
I've stopped counting.
I think this is 8 now, so 8 for 83 laps. If we keep on this trend, we'll have 20 for 200 laps. So let's hope that's not the case. Otherwise, I mean, I could definitely tell that the behavior of these drivers is let's get a full run in. You can see definitely half the field is kind of running in their own sort of pace, and they're really trying not to get themselves into any really big battles, and other drivers are trying to take advantage of that. And when you have those two different attitudes clashing, you're always going to have a situation where people are going to try and battle one another, and there's always a chance for a caution there. So hopefully these guys are, like I said, everyone that's pitting right now, this could be the one pit stop before the long green flag run. You'll be fueled up, and no one else will. So if you fall to the back now, hopefully that'll pay off if you just be patient and get yourself going for the long green flag run.
White should go out of the pace truck this time by... Oh, look at LGN. He's riding down on the apron trying to save some fuel. Not a bad strategy.
It's all cosmetic to me, Gary. But if it makes you feel better, you want to save about a teaspoon of fuel per lap, go for it.
Yeah, maybe every little bit helps. We'll see if we get into that situation. Murph, makes me wonder how much the winner of today's race actually, like I said, finished with the tank. How much fuel was left in the tank? The correct answer is enough, but I still want to know how much left was in that tank when they measure
more
that.
Than the people, yes, more than the people that stopped on the front straightaway after the race is over.
The number of cars, that whole front straight was like a parking lot at the checkered flag there. Murph is up against the wall. He will bring us to green this time by lap 86. Pace truck dives off now. It is Murph, Eckert, John Martins, Teed, and LGN, your top 5. We have yet to see any green flag pit stops yet. Maybe we're going to get there. We shall see. Murph off in the 1 as your leader now down the backstretch.
Got a nice clean green run there, Putski, with a nice move on Matt Wagner into turn 1. Now he's looking at the inside of Clendy. Doesn't quite get it done, but nice move by Putski there to get a pass done. These cars just kind of stay single file for now. Hopefully we'll get that nice green flag run that we keep talking about. Coker goes for a move in the inside of Jacob Wilson. These two have been racing each other pretty hard for the last 20, 25 laps or so. Looks like Wilson gets the position back there. They're chasing Eric Peterson up front, who seems to be kind of falling back from that front pack a little bit. But Coker and Wilson, if they could just work together, they can possibly get by Peterson and try and work their way back towards the front again. As Coker goes for a move on the inside, gets the spot back.
Gliddy taking a peek on the outside, getting the run on Jacob. And he will get the position on the high side. as Coker goes down, gives a little dirty air to Jacob and slides up and almost collects Clindy as the process. Everything's all straight, though. We're all good. Here comes Pahutski with the big run on the high side. He and Wags battling out for 10th spot.
Battle for the lead right now. Murphy is kind of taking all lanes away from Eckert, but Eckert finally outsmarts him and gets him into turn 4 there. He'll lead lap 91.
Two Brazilian teammates versus Mark Murphy. Brazilians say they really like enjoying racing in this car because it's free available on the service and it gives them a chance to get access to an open wheel oval car. So there's a pretty big Brazilian racing community with these cars.
I think Martins just kind of wants to hang back here and let Eckert do all the dirty work. It seems that Murphy really kind of has the grasp on Eckert as he kind of runs low, runs high, is a little unpredictable of where he's going to take the corner, which is a worse nightmare if you're trying to follow him. But Eckert got the better of him on that one lap, and Murphy got him back. So maybe Murphy is a stronger car right now, and Eckert might just do better to sit there and save fuel and just maybe pounce a little bit later on.
Riding with LGN in 5th spot as he is right behind Charles Teed. 190 miles per hour going into turn 1. Dipping down to 183. They really do not slow down very much here. In fact, the average lap time here is that average lap speed doesn't really fall off very much in the corners at all. You're pretty much 100% throttle the entire time.
Looking back on that P6 battle, Clenworth and Peterson are almost trying to swap draft a little bit, but they kind of are stepping on each other actually when they're trying to do it. So I think it's maybe a co-opetition situation, but it's also a I want to be in the front and stop trying to pass me kind of situation at the same time. And then you got a hungry Wilson and Coker behind that have been battling for laps now. So these guys got to really kind of sit in line and try and find a way to increase their pace to get back up towards the front again.
Top 5 have pulled away. Let's give you an interval here in between the top 5 and where P6 starts. There you see 2 seconds back to Clindy, which that is well and good out of the draft envelope of these cars. You would think these cars extend longer than the IR18, which is about a second and a half. These cars are lucky to extend the draft envelope a second behind them. That's just kind of how the car is programmed, unfortunately. But these guys are well and truly out of that draft range of that lead pack, so they're going to have to work together and use skill and speed to run down that lead pack, and that's easier said than done.
So now that we got ourselves a nice green flag run going, this is our longest green flag laps that we've had so far. What's our pit situation looking like, Gary? Who's on the longest stint right now?
Oh, that would be your top 5. They are all 49 laps into their current run. So I would imagine they are coming to pit road sometime in the next 10 to 15 laps, depending on how much yellow time they put it on the racetrack. So we'll keep an eye open. And then it's going to be, it's not their last stop. It's not going to be their last stop. In order to get to the last stop, we need to get a lot closer to lap 150. So this next group here, who is led by Clindy and Peterson in 6th and 7th, they are 30 laps into their stint. And if they can get a little bit closer to that 150 number, they might make it a final stop, but I don't think they're going to be able to get there either. So 150 is the magic number, but I'm not sure either one of these groups can get to that magic number for that final stop. There might be another splash and go for everybody towards the end, if we stay green.
If we stay green is a big question, Gary. Like we were talking about, this has been a pretty yellow-filled race, so I imagine that we'll probably have one more yellow, at least, going forward here, as we've seen the start of this race is a little bit abridged, just going off of how things are going. So hopefully we get these green flag pit stops here from this top 5, which it seems like we are, because as we're on those, probably about 53, 54 laps now, on that stint. They're going to be pitting within the next 10 to 15 laps, I'd imagine.
Eckert's your leader right now. He's on the low side. There is Murph right behind him. Eckert bringing his teammate John Martins in third, and they are coming down the backstretch.
Here we
to
go.
Pit road
Wow.
right now.
All of them are coming in at the same time. That's incredible.
LGN got the pass on Teed coming to pit road, so he picks up a spot.
Yeah, I think they were all trying to come in, but I believe LGN kind of dipped a little lower than T probably thought, and unfortunately that he lost a spot there. But he could pick that back up again with the pit stop here. So now this group that was sitting P6 finally suddenly find themselves in the lead.
Yeah, and these guys coming to pit road right now are going to go down about 2 laps here. That's how fast everything happens. And here's your new leader, Eric Peterson and Clindy. Both these guys at one point, they were in the wall earlier in this race.
All this does is make a big mess for these guys that are trying to race each other, and now we got guys on new tires that are going to find themselves a little bit more pace if these guys on the older tires can't really hold their position. They're going to find themselves being passed by some of these lap cars. So suddenly we find ourselves yet again in a situation where some guys are going to be racing side to side that we don't particularly want to see push very hard and potentially throw themselves into another wreck situation.
Yeah, some of these drivers need to recognize, and I don't know if they have the tools or all the black boxes active to recognize who just stopped and who not to race and who to race. These guys on the fresh tires racing around guys that are out there with 40-lap-old tires. The guys with the 40-lap-old tires, you might want to hold them off for a little bit, but battling them for position after turn and lap after lap might be uncalled for. You just might want to let them go because you're just digging yourself a hole if that's the case.
Well, I'm actually watching Peterson and Clemworth. They're running much faster lap times than these guys that just pit as they're all stuck in traffic trying to find their way through. So the fresh tires are advantageous if you use them the right way, but looking at Mark Murphy right now, he's behind about 8 cars, and he is not going to be able to just get through all of them very quickly.
Okay, so we had a problem on the racetrack. LGN had an issue coming off of pit road. He lets off the button, and the back end comes around on him. And also the same thing happened to John Martins, although John Martins, when it happens to John Martins, he goes to the inside wall and makes contact. And so he had to drive all the way around and get repaired. So he is down in the order. So those guys that just stopped, that group of drivers is now a lot smaller.
Right, it would just be Murphy, Teed, and Mark and Eckert.
Rafi, yeah.
Murphy is still behind a lot of cars right now, and he's running kind of close lap times to what Clemworth and Peterson are running, but nothing that is making it seem like that they're going to have the advantage at the next pit stop. So Murphy's on the inside of Wagner right now. Looks like he's going to try and get on the inside of Marcamini, that's for position actually.
Yep.
So Murphy actually lost a couple of spots in the pit, as Eckert is the leader of that strategy right now. Eckert really has not made that much ground as well. So I think that we're going to see Clemworth and Peterson may actually come out right around where Eckert is.
They are now 48 laps into their run, so we expect them to come to pit road anytime in the next 10 laps or so. And again, you saw where that first group had to come to pit road. You must enter pit road on the apron, and you must enter the apron on the backstretch going into 3. And there you see Casey Pahutsky. He is making that turn. He was in 5th spot. Now he's on the apron and giving up that track position to come to pit road for a scheduled stop at 123 coming to 124. I don't think he can finish it on this tank. He has gone 49 laps.
Up to Eric Anderson as well. So, yeah, we're going to start to see these guys trickle in little by little. I think those guys went about 56, I believe, on the last time, but that was with some cautions thrown in compared to some of these guys that are now pitting under less green flag, less Vitor's coming in. Eric Peterson's coming in.
Peterson from the battle for the lead, also coming to pit road.
Yep, Clendy's coming in this time by. I'm going to watch Eric Peterson to see where he comes in, or where he comes out compared to Murphy and Eckert.
And now the leader is Wagner. Hysong in second. Turner Johnson in third. These are these guys, Wagner and Hysong, 53 and 52 laps respectively into this stint. So they are coming to pit road right now. Turner Johnson, he will pick up the lead. He is at 43 laps, now 44 laps into this stint. He will creep closer to that 150 number, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it. He's going to have to do a splash at the end. That's if we stay green. Again, that's a big if.
Peterson got absolutely overtaken. Oh, Leo Salvador has touched the wall in turn 4 there.
Jacob Wilson, black flag. Mark Amini, black flag.
Clenworth comes out of the pits right. I believe he's well behind Peterson, however, but Eckert is going to wind up being the victor in this one.
Clendy's above Peterson right now. He's just behind Murph on the standings. Murph now up to 8th by himself. Turner Johnson still out there, and that is who is in front of Clendy. Dinsdale is in second. Johnson and Dinsdale have had pace all race long. Here comes Dinsdale coming to pit road. He managed to go 48 laps.
Jacob Wilson is towed. I believe he had an incident coming out of the pit lane. So after his black flag, it seems it's only gotten worse for Wilson, unfortunately. Turner Johnson's entering pit lane right now. Ooh, came very close to coming back up on the track again, but what an optimized pit entry that is.
There is Leo Salvador, how he got a meatball flag. He met the turn 4 wall a little closely.
Yeah, he had a little mini spin there, but
Turner Johnson
was able to somehow keep it going.
Pit road, scheduled stop. That will turn the lead over to Edson Santos, but Edson Santos coming to pit road. Rafi Eckert now out there, up into the gray on the high side, ripping the high side off of turn 2. Rafi Eckert now your leader. He is now 23 laps into he stopped last at lap 109. So he still has one more stop to do right behind him. That is John Martins. John Martins down in the order now. 3 laps down, and he's basically, I think, running a little interference for his teammate. And behind them is Mark Amini, 5 laps down as well.
This whole pit stop rotation has really changed up this order, Gary. I mean,
yeah, it has.
We were waiting for a green flag pit stop, but we didn't expect that it'd be such a wide-ranging situation of guys that are pitting and losing positions, gaining positions. Eckert now finds himself with over a 1-second lead with several cars behind him, and probably difficult for Murphy to do anything about that, really.
So we'll go through the field. We'll reset the order. But before we do, once again, if you're just joining us, you are watching P1's broadcasting coverage of round 4 of 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by the Joy of Driving 2, coming to you from Iowa Speedway for the Joy of Driving 200. Where Rafi Eckert currently leads, where we have 137 laps complete out of 200. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Join us next week for the Vote of Indy Oval Series when they resume their season and for their Season 3 championship at Legacy Atlanta, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Start time right here on P1. Going through the field, your leader is Rafi Eckert. There he is. He leads by 1.5 seconds over Mark Murphy. There he is, just behind him on the front straightaway. Clendy is in third. Peterson is in fourth. His teammate's right behind him on his 6th. That is T. That's a good person to have on your 6 at any point in the race. And we have Matt Wagner just behind them. He's working with Shane Coker to try to run down the Teed and Peterson duo. Vitor in P8. Whoa, Coker almost contact with Wags going into turn 1. Maybe they're not working together with the way that Wags dipped to the inside of the racetrack. Vitor in 8th, Jeff Heisong 9th, Turner Johnson in 10th, LGN in 11th. Rafi Eckert has a pretty commanding lead now over Murphy. He has 4 cars between himself. 4 cars and 1.8 seconds between himself and Murphy. That might as well be like 5 laps. Dinsdale and Santos battling for position right behind him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's what laps down. It's very tough to follow because of the poor pit stop rotation that some of these drivers have had. So Dinsdale is 1 lap down in the middle of that, and then you got Marcamini and Martins that are several laps down. Blocking Wilson is even more laps down, and then finally you have Murphy, who seems to be actually dropping back a little bit. I don't know if he might be doing some sort of really hard fuel save situation, knowing that there's a lot of cars going on. I know he can't make it to the end, but if some of these guys pit a little early, oh, we have a wreck on the back straightaway. That might have been Marcamini. That was Marcamini.
And he's spinning again. He has, looks like his suspension broke, but we'll go back and see what happened.
Forget everything I just said.
Oh, and he goes right up. He had a massive push going into the corner. We'll watch it a little bit further back. 3 wide at the start-finish line. That's Dinsdale in the middle. One of the leaner energy cars up high, 2 of the leaner energy cars. And Marcamini down low and just arrow wash. Look at that. That is just awful arrow wash right up into the 73. Martins kind of gives him the boot into the outside wall. Jacob Wilson takes evasive action, goes to the bottom side of the racetrack. And now Marcamini has a wounded car that doesn't really want to track straight, and he needs to turn it left to keep it on the apron. And as soon as he turns the wheel, the back end comes because the suspension back there is snapped.
Yeah, this was a very silly caution, Gary. These cars were laps down. This is the group that we were talking about that was between Eckert and Murphy. And if you're several laps down, you shouldn't be putting yourself 3 wide in any situation whatsoever. This is something that these guys need to learn is once you're some laps down, it's best to just survive and do the best you can to try and maybe get some stuff back through strategy, because this is something that has thrown this race completely into a different strategy case right now that did not need to happen.
And at this point, you know what? I want to say everyone should be good to go, but it's going to be close. It will be close.
It's going to be close indeed.
Yeah. Even with full tanks at the restart, it will be close. And there's Dinsdale. He's coming to pit road now as he is down in the order a little bit. Going 4th right now, but coming to pit road for a splash. Actually, this might be what gets him home. Edson Santos is your leader now in the blue-colored rimmed leaner energy car. In front of him, that is Jomo, Jacob Wilson, and the 73 of John Martins, one of our winners earlier this season. They will all get the waiver round. So Santos will pick up the lead right behind him on his 6. He will have Iker Pagero, who is 2 laps down, will be behind him as a bit of a buffer. Then his teammate, Rafi Eckert, then Mark Murphy, then Clindy, then Peterson, and we see Teed pump faking coming to pit road. It might not be a bad strategy to go in and get a splash here right before going green.
every lap counts, right? So just based on the behavior of these guys so far, I believe we're going to have one more caution. So if it were me sitting around 11th or 12th place right now, I would come in and hope that I get some more caution laps to save that extra little bit of fuel. Make sure I make it to the end.
Get a little extra help. It's halftime in Oklahoma City. Pacers lead 48-47 in Game 7. A low-scoring affair.
A true head-to-head battle here as we go into Game 7, right?
Yep. One game to decide them all. Edson Santos, now your leader. He will restart at the top of the field here. Eckert second, Murphy third, Clindy fourth, Peterson fifth. And we are going to go green with 50 laps to go. And Peguero just really binds up the field behind him as Edson Santos already out to almost a second lead.
And keep in mind, Edson Santos was collected in that earlier incident, had that black flag, now finds himself sitting in the lead, but I don't think he can make it on the fuel. So I think at this point, if you know you're not going to make it, even with the saving, just go for it. Just blast it out and hope that a caution comes out that brings everyone down the pits one more time.
Yeah, Edson Santos last pitted on lap 133. He's 18 laps into his stint. Even with the caution that we just had, he's not going to be able to bring it home without a stop and splash at the end. So right now, we are watching the battle for what will be the race lead if he does come to pit road. When we stay green, it is Murph, Clindy, Eckert, Peterson, your top four right there. This is second, third, fourth, and fifth.
The ideal situation for Santos would be a caution to come out maybe 3-4 laps before he's supposed to pit, because that'll bring everybody down the pit lane again, to get fresh tires, to make sure they make it to the end, and also to make sure they have the fuel. So that would be the best situation for him, but that has to be a very, very timely yellow, which we
caution,
are
there
getting
it is.
right now, I suppose.
Dinsdale bound up on the front stretch along with Pahutsky. And we'll see what happens here. A little bit of netcode action. I can't really see from that angle. I'm going to go back and watch it a little bit more here right before they made contact. They come off the corner. No, that is not netcode contact. That is real contact. Dinsdale comes up into the side of Pahutsky. Pahutsky comes back down into the side of Dinsdale and puts both of them into the wall to start-finish line. A little bit of a racing deal with two cars. One had a lot of pace today. One had some track position, and they were just racing each other hard here in the late stages.
This does not help Santos. Santos is pitting now, and
Clindy coming to pit road. So Clindy must have done the math and decided that he could not make it.
Well, like you said, Gary, that pit stop they did right there was going to be tight. They would need some more yellow. So I would think that under the yellow they would try and go for it at this point. But hey, now it's definite. Now you're going to pit and you're going to take the fuel and you will make it to the end. No need to save. And some of these guys that are racing ahead of these guys that are pitting, they may actually try and fuel save, which could benefit guys like Clindy and Santos.
Clindy went fuel only. He just topped off the tank, did not put on a new set of tires. So, and I think Wags did the same. I'm looking at their pit road times of 3.1 and 3.2 seconds. So that tells me that they just hooked up the fuel probe and gave the necessary couple of gallons to, or a couple of liters to get to the end. Santos, I'm thinking at 8 seconds, and he's in the box. That is enough time to give him enough fuel to get to the end and put on a new set of tires. So I suspect Santos has a new set of tires. Mark Murphy is your leader, though, and he is on
Look at everyone running that inside line, like you were mentioning with LGM before. Maybe I think you started a trend, Gary.
You could tell that the catalyst is not impressed. He's like, yeah, whatever. Jeff Heisong down on the apron. LGN back down on the apron. In fact, now LGN staying on the apron. But Murphy's your leader. Eckert is now second. Peterson is third. They are 10 laps into their stint. Teed is in fourth. Heisong is in fifth. LGN is in sixth. They are all 10 laps into this stint. And it looks to me they are committing themselves to stay on the racetrack. I believe everyone behind LGN, starting with Clindy. And then we got Wags, Santos, Turner, Johnson. So this is everybody from 7th on back. I believe everyone from 7th on back, and you can disagree with me and tell me why, Andrew. I believe everyone from 7th on back is good to go to the end.
Nope, I agree. Sorry, bad television, but I think I think there's going to be there will be another caution before the end, Gary. That's my big claim of the night.
Well, way to go out on a limb there.
Yep, but I think that is the key that makes them good to the end. So if we were to go green, man, maybe it's not possible that they could do it, but I think there'll be one more caution and then they'll be fine. But the guys up front are going to have to figure something out here. Nobody likes to do a fuel race, but from the booth, we might be able to see something pretty incredible if these guys get a little bit packed up in the mid-pack here and try to figure out how to hang on to their spot or how to gain a couple spots.
Today's race been brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. Green flag in the air, lap 159 of 200. It is Murph, it is Eckert, it is Peterson, it is Teed and Heisong. Your top 5 going down the backstretch.
Clean restart. Looks like LGN's kind of in this battle right now with, that's very close with Clendy on the bottom line there. They all get out of it. LGN's ready to make a move here.
Heisong going defensive in the 1. He stayed on the low side. He's going to force LGN and Clendy to go around the long way on the high side. LG, caution. I don't know who's in the wall. It is Dinsdale again. Unfortunately, a good race for him has gotten worse here in the late stages, and this is really going to help those that were close on fuel.
I think a leaner energy car got into him there, Gary.
And it looks like maybe John Martin's there, or is it 73? Yeah, John Martin's. And he dives into the corner early, and a little bit of net code. I don't think Dinsdale expected him to be there. And round he goes.
Told you there'd be another caution.
Like I said, way to go out on a limb.
Sorry, I just want to throw that out there. I'm over it. Let's continue on.
Hey, you like what you see? You want to be part of it? Join the Dark Horse Racing Series. The car is free. The league is free. All you need are the tracks and the drive. There is a Discord link, invite link in the description. Click on that. Join the Discord to learn more and to sign up for the next race for us here in the series. And here is the schedule. We'll bring that up on the screen here. The next race for us is July 13th. So you have yourself a couple of weeks. And we go to Kentucky, then we will go to Auto Club, Legacy, Michigan, and New Hampshire, and then we'll wrap up in October at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to wrap up Season 8.
Okay, Gary, I marked that down so you don't have to harass me the day of to make sure I'm commentating with you. July 13th it is. That's going to be a great race, I think. These cars really do show off really, really well at those big tracks. So I'm looking forward to that one, actually. I think that'll be a pretty interesting race, and it'll probably be exciting enough that we'll have a lot of green flag runs. We'll have a lot of strategy plays with fuel saving and everything like that. So that's going to be one to watch for sure for everyone that's tuned in right now.
Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's sim racing adventures full of sharp driving and sharp wit. Subscribe on YouTube or follow him on Facebook. The links are in the description. Also brought to you by, the race is brought to you by tonight. SimWrap Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. SimWrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download, customize, race. We're going to go green, think next time by. Lights are still on the pace track. Your leader is Murph, then Eckert, Peterson, Teed, Heisong, your top 5. and LGN is in 6th. The reason why we're especially mentioning them right now is that they're on a bit of a fuel save. They might be able to make it now 17 laps into their stint. And we have 164 now, 165 of 200 in the books. So can they make it?
Well, if we have some more cautions, then more and more drivers are going to be able to make it to the end. Plus, it's going to give less of an opportunity for some of these guys at the bottom of the top 10 to make some moves. So I think at this point, it's going to get a little racy here for sure. The cautions, precautions mantra is unfortunately going to be rearing its ugly head again. But hopefully these guys can really race cleanly and give and take just enough to make this a really clean run to the end.
I think the leaders can make it. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to go green flag here. Murph will take off. He'll be followed by Eckert, Peterson, Teed, and Heisung. I think the top 6 can make it now.
It's going to be close based on their last pit stop there, but I think all these guys with the fresh tires in the back are really going to try and make some moves now. And
we go 3 wide at the line. Now we go 2 wide as Clindy goes down low. Heisung just cuts down across Clindy. Almost gets LGN. LGN to the inside of Clindy now.
Very, very close racing there. This is what we want to see. We want to see a lot of close racing and a lot of strategic moves. Ooh, very close there. Again, very, very close, very, very fair. But these guys had to sort it out, and otherwise they're going to continue to lose time to the guys up ahead. For the lead there. Looks like Mark Murphy just looked.
Yeah, Murphy's your leader. We ride with LGN at the moment as he is on the low side and getting the dirty air from Peterson, who's in front of him. Murph goes to the bottom, goes defensive, tries to hold that line into 1, move Peterson into 2nd. Rafi back to 3rd. Here comes Heisung on the low side. Oh, there's netcode contact, and there they go.
That was extremely unlucky netcode contact there with that was Eckert, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was Eckert, and then Clindy had no place to go. Watch this again. Here comes the netcode contact. And the netcode contact occurred pretty early into this thing.
Yeah, that was on the entry of the corner, which was even more bizarre.
And he kind of power slid halfway through those set of quarters, and then when he caught it, it just took off on him. And then Clindy, watch from Clindy's point of view here. I mean, Clindy just really had no place to go.
It was incredible. Also, Heisung has gotten hit on the checkup there at the pace car. I think Heisung might be out.
And we'll see what happened to Heisung. But watch Clindy's. He had really no place to go. It was either the wall or go straight, and hopefully Eckert does something. And if he slid and went to the inside, he would have taken out Heisung. Clindy would have been fine. But he caught it and went to the outside, and that's where Clindy was. And that is day done for the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series champion from Season 2.
That was very reminiscent of the Alex Bowman crash at the NASCAR race a couple weeks back. He was just kind of riding the outside, and all of a sudden a car hit him in the left front, and he went flying into the outside wall, just going straight, and suddenly he's in the wall. But yeah, Heisung has been collected. I believe cars were checking out for the pace car, and the accordion happened, and unfortunately Heisung has been hit from behind.
Let's watch this again. Might have gone back too far. Yeah, we'll go back and just find...
The pace car comes out is basically when it happens.
And you said it was Heisung?
Correct.
So we'll go back here. A couple of laps here and see what happens. Okay, here's the incident. And we'll speed it up a little bit. Oh, wow. Yeah, he came up really close on Murph. Murph slowed down. Watch this again. We'll go back just a little bit further. Murph kind of slows down a little bit, and Haisong has to get all over the brakes, and then in the back of him, I think might have been a little bit of LGN. All right, so that changes things up. When the caution came out, Eric Peterson was your leader with 28 to go. Mark Murphy is second. LGN might be damaged. We don't know. LGN is in third. Teed is in fourth. Wags now in fifth. Turner Johnson sixth. Edson Santos seventh. Shane Coker eighth. Vitor up to ninth. And Pahutsky now in 10th. Peterson has used the fast repair. Murph has not. LGN... I'm surprised LGN has not. He has been around a lot of these wrecks, and he has not. Teed has not. Wagner has not. And Coker has not.
We think all these guys can make it to the end now, yeah?
I think everybody can make it to the end, yeah.
Peterson leads it off, and nice, clean restart there, and Peterson gets a nice jump.
Santos around Johnson on the restart. Moves Santos up to sixth.
During turn two here, looks like Peterson has the run, but see LGN is looking. He's kind of creeping in the background there, and he had a nice run on Murphy last lap, and I think he's going to have the run on Peterson going down the front straightaway. Just ducks back in, kind of gets his momentum going again. Peterson takes the lead back, and Murphy is slotted here in second place, but here comes Charles Teed.
Now, I don't want to jinx anybody here, because we still have 24 to go. But Eric Peterson has the most starts, and Dark Horse Racing Series history has 88 starts, no wins. Could we be looking at his first win ever in his own series? He's one of the admins. He is now leading and trying to hold off a former Indy Oval Series champion and another winner in the Lionheart level in his own right, LGN.
What I'm noticing, Gary, is it's very, very difficult to keep the lead here. So I think we're going to see the lead swap a couple more times. It seems that Peterson's really trying to hug that bottom line and make Murphy go to the outside in order to take it.
Oh, and that's what happened. You're right. He went up high. Murph goes low. We're going to go into three side by side, and I think LGN might follow him on through. No, he doesn't. Peterson slams the door. Now Peterson goes low in the one, trying to get the spot back. 20 to go.
These cars, there's a lot of downforce on these cars. It's very, very easy to keep the bottom line going, but for how long? How long can these tires hold on for these guys?
Now going back to some of the intel we received coming into today's race, it's about 27 to 30 laps, and then she starts to get a little loose, we've been told. Well, we are now 35 laps into this stint.
LGN's being very patient, very patient. He's on the inside of Murphy right now. Let's see if he can get that move done for P2. Looks like Murphy's got the outside, and Charles T's right there in order to take advantage of any hiccup from these guys up ahead of him. Matt Wagner has now entered the picture. He's had a very tumultuous race as well.
Yeah, he has.
He finds himself sitting right now at a spot where he could take this win if he's careful and he's calculated and able to get up there. Peterson continues to hold the lead. LGN is right behind him there in second place. Murphy is just lurking in the background there in P3, but Murphy has started to drop back a little bit, and I wonder if he's maybe lost his momentum a little bit to try and get his way back up to the lead. LGN shuts the door on him on the exit of 2, and Murphy is able to kind of hang on there in third, but I think he's just playing around a little bit and trying to set up a move as we get down to 10 to go very soon.
And it is still Peterson, 88 career starts, 16 top 5s, 43 top 10s, but no wins. Right behind him, Teed has 1 win, 8 wins for Wagner, 4 wins for Luis Gonzalez Nunez, 2 wins for Murphy. Do we see a new winner? Do we see a repeat?
Very close with LGN and Charles T there. Murphy's gotten back up to second, but is his tire life starting to run out? Looks like Peterson has a stranglehold. He's held the lead longer than anybody else has right now, and I think if anybody wants to win in this series, it's Eric Peterson.
Murph to the inside, down the backstretch. He's going to stick to those in there, going into 3.
Very bad angle for Peterson there. He washes up the track a little bit. Murphy is your new leader.
If we get anyone out of this group that wins other than Wagner, we'll start the season 4 for 4. It shows you a lot of parity in this league. Down low, here comes Peterson back. He's your leader coming to 10 to go.
It is very difficult to hold the lead here as we see these guys racing very, very hard. You can't hold that lead for too long. Murphy takes the lead back. LGN is now going for it.
Oh,
and,
LGN in the middle.
Very close. Murphy gets a little bit of an advantage, but it's not going to hold just based on what we've seen from these drivers for the last 10, 11 laps or so.
Oh, they're getting tight. Almost contact there with Wagner and Teed. Peterson staying high. Murph starting to pull away, coming to 8 to go. Murph going to the bottom of the racetrack. LGN staying high. Peterson sticking to the middle, trying to run these guys down. As this group of 3 starts to kind of pull away. Can Murph get win number 3? Can LGN get that first win this season? Can Eric Peterson get that first win overall?
Murphy is trying to hug the bottom of the racetrack there, but I think his tires are probably the worst off of these 3 just based on how his car has been behaving these last 10 to 15 laps or so. Looks like Peterson's got there.
Peterson's tires might be spent too.
Peterson was trying his best to hug that inside line. His tires might be screaming.
Oh, into the wall. And I think LGN might have got into the wall.
Peterson takes that second spot back. Now it's to go after Murphy. We got 5 to go.
Down the backstretch. Murphy goes defensive to the inside. Peterson's going to follow him on through, get a run down the front stretch. Got to keep it out of the wall. Going to have a massive push there down the front stretch. Arc it in there, try to maintain that momentum, get a good run coming. Oh, Murph disappears.
Like you were mentioning, Gary, these tires are probably getting a little bit loose right now. Peterson slides it in there, and he's going to get very close. He's got the spot back. Peterson with 3 to go.
3 to go. Peterson, your leader, down low in the 1, and I don't think he's going to come off the bottom at all, but he does come off the bottom. Now he goes back to the bottom. We're going to go 3 wide in the 3. Coming to 2 to go. Peterson cuts up across in front of the traffic. Gives him a little arrow wash. Coming to the line. 2 to go.
It's very important for Peterson at this point to make sure he arcs the car in perfectly and gets the momentum out of the corner. Otherwise, Murphy's going to be right there to pounce on him.
Down low, out of the corner, looking at the white flag, this time by Peterson. 7/8 of a mile away from getting his first win in his own series. Down the backstretch, he's going to stay to the inside. Murph's going to go take a peek out high. Here comes LGN out of 3 and 4. Do we see win number 1 for Eric Peterson? We do after 88 starts. Your winner in the Dark Horse Racing Series.
That was incredible, Gary. That was a great finish to this race. So it was all important for Eric to make sure he arced the corners just perfectly, and it looks like he did everything to perfection there. And you're right. That was the ticket there, was stay out, manage your fuel, and looks like it was a great run there for Eric Peterson.
I'm trying to think of an IndyCar racer, a real-world IndyCar racer that had many starts before his first win.
I mean, with Iowa in particular, I'm thinking of James Hinchcliffe and his big win that he had. What was that, 2014 or 2015? He was very hungry for a win there at this particular track, actually.
I can think of some examples of drivers that got the first win and then it took them forever to get that second win, like John Paul Jr. He had to wait 2 decades before getting his next win. Look at him putting these donuts down over the Iowa corn.
Great representation of the Iowa corn there.
Eric Peterson with his first win in his own series by 0.069 of a second over Mark Murphy. And you can say, really, when you can say you beat Murph, LGN, and Wagner, and Teed, you can really say you beat some guys that have a ton of starts in all levels of IndyCar on this sim. Whether it be the IR18, the DW12, you know that when you total up the starts from the guys here in the top 5, I mean, we're talking easily more than 500 starts combined. But we got Murphy in second, LGN third, Wagner in fourth, Teed in fifth. Turner Johnson had a good race. He comes home sixth. Shane Coker in seventh. Edson Santos eighth. Vitor in ninth. John Martin's in 10th. So the Leader Energy guys, 8th, 9th, and 10th there. High Song in 11th. Not the finish he was looking for. He was in the running late. Eric Anderson. Good finish for Eric there in 12th. Jomo 13th. Pahutsky 14th. Pagero 15th. Jacob Wilson 16th. Clendy, not the finish he was looking for, but it's kind of a one-off for him tonight. In 17th spot, Rafi in 18th. Rafi checking in from the Infield Care Center. Bring back the old Iowa, he says. Shane Dinsdale, 19th. Mark Amini in 20th. Leo Salvador, 21st. And Gary Lovern, not today. He was looking for here in 22nd.
Definitely looking forward to asking LGN how he avoided all those incidents that you were pointing out earlier.
You know, we never really talked weather at all or any of that stuff. It was just straight up racing there at the end. All right, we need to get some replays queued up here, and then we'll get into the interview room. And here we go. And there he is waiting for us. We're going to bring him up in here right now. Here he is, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, finishes third today. But, sir, man, how did you avoid every single... I mean, there was an incident just about around you all the time, and you managed to avoid them all. How did you miss them all?
I don't know. It was very lucky, though. To be honest, I don't know. I already saw the car when I was in Clendy side by side. I saw the car spinning on my on my right. I was like, oh, okay. And then some others in front of me, but it was lucky, to be honest. It's really lucky what I have today.
Yeah, it looks like the car was behaving pretty well on the fresh tires, but did you find the car was getting pretty loose as you went later on into the stint?
Oh yeah, and in Dexter turn 2. If you make double move in the middle to try to correct the car, is make that thing. It's happened maybe 2 times in the end of the stint. I feel like the car is gonna want to get loose on the back, and also in practice I did. I make double move on the just for correct to the line, and I lose it. So I already. In the battle with these 2 guys, with Murphy and Peterson, I already feel that. It's like, okay, so I don't want to do it. That's why I went high, low, high, low, high, low. And then I went too high, and then Ericsson passed me. But just for that reason, I really don't want to lose the car and get like to the back to the field for sure.
Well, a good run for you. We're going to have you back. I guess we're going to have you Tuesday night where we do the Oval Series. Yeah. So any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to before we let you have to go? Because I know you have to got work tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, somebody waiting for me. Waiting for me on the bed. So she said, I finish it. You had to go to sleep. So I already have to finish now faster. So no, I just to my wife to waiting for me. To you, Eric, P1. See you Tuesday night, 7:15.
8:15.
From. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's winter time. So yeah, and I hope the Indiana, yeah, for NBA winning. Actually, they are losing.
Losing
My
by
God,
4 right
6,
now. Losing by 4. Yep.
No, it's okay. It's not like a hockey. You're losing for poof, and then you're gone. So
yep.
anyways, yeah, I don't have too much shout out. Thank you so much thank you for George to allow me to keep all the skin when I used the lion hair. And he said, yeah, you can use it. I'm really happy to use all the stuff. So really, thank you so much for that. Yeah, that's it. See you Tuesday.
That is Luis Gonzalez Nunez finishing third here tonight. And you'll catch him on the catch him back on the channel when we do the Indy Oval Series on Tuesday nights. Congrats, man. Good job.
Thank you so much. See ya.
All right, let's bring up Mark. And here is Mark Murphy, another one of our commentators finishing on the podium here tonight. Mark, on one side, I know you wanted to win this. But on another side, I know you keep track of who wins and who doesn't kind of in these leagues. And it was kind of well past due for Eric to be getting a first win here in his own series. And you want to take it away, but and one part of you doesn't want to take it away. But, I mean, you raced them fair and square there at the end. And that was a great finish. Congratulations on the second place and a great wheel-to-wheel action.
There wasn't nothing letting him have. I mean, we were racing hard. We were racing as hard as the conditions and the net code permitted, I think. And it's a testament to Eric and LGN and Matt that, you had 4 guys up there that knew what they were doing and weren't going to push it any harder than it needed to be pushed. And it's exactly what we did. Kudos to Eric. He beat us. I mean, it was so hard to hold the lead, and he'll probably tell you too. There was a line you could take through 3 and 4 that you could just blow past the people in front of you if you hit it just right. And I hit it on him, and then he came back and returned the favor. And try as I might, I couldn't get back by him. Cognizant of the fact that Schaus isn't here, and Janatis had a bad night. Wagner was behind us. Pahetsky had a bad night. Jacob Wilson had a bad night. Forsythe's not here. So, you start reading down the list and you say, I'd rather finish second or third than finish on the hook. So, the championship is important, and that's what we're here for. Individual races don't necessarily, I mean, you want to win them, but they don't matter as much as the point total at the end. And so, for me, that's, we get a handy haul of points and, come out of here with a nice cushion headed for Kentucky, which I think we all are well aware of my affinity for Kentucky.
So, was there any chance to make any nice passes on the outside around here? Or did you really have to get on the inside? Because it does seem like this track is a little different now with the paved sections there on the corners. And it didn't seem like it was very easy to hang on the outside too wide, but did you find that you could really make anything work on the high side, or was that only later in the stint when the tires started to wear out?
You could. I mean, I think I passed Casey and Charles. I think I even passed Peterson up there a couple of times early on. You could. You just you really had to time it right, and the car in front of you almost had to pinch themselves too much, which I know it's going to sound awful, but this is almost like you drive it almost like you would at a mile and a half, where you're really focused on hitting the apex just absolutely pure and opening your hands up and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you could make a move up there, but it required the guy in front of you to miss his line a little bit. In traffic, it was definitely available. So it was hard to pass the leader, but in traffic, it was definitely available up there for sure. And we did pass some cars up there.
Well, the points are out. You have yourself a 140 to 117 points lead over Schaus. John Martin's there in third with 112, 1 point better than Peterson, who's in fourth, and Wagner at 102. So you are the points leader going into the next race. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go? Because I'm sure we got a very excited first-time winner that wants to get some words in.
Yeah, that's the first one. Is shout out to Eric Peterson, man. That guy's been at this for a long, long time. So happy for him to get a win, and that was a pleasure racing with him. The same with Maddie and LGN. That was a blast running this car here with those guys, and knowing that we were wheel to wheel and pretty close and perfectly safe. So that's always fun. Everybody at Indy Alliance Racing. And the satellite rogue alliance, as it were, I just happy for all of them. That's been a ton of fun. I even won a road race today, Gary.
Oh my goodness!
I had no idea. Well, it was Road America, so basically an oval. And the funny part is, all the other cars crashed on the first corner. So I started third, and I came out of turn one with the lead. Looked in the mirror, and everybody was upside down behind me. So I just basically got to make 22 laps of Road America coasting around, trying not to wad the thing up. So that was fun.
That's a replay you need to save and show everyone. That's
I've got it. I'll put it in. I'll put it up somewhere. But thanks to all those guys. It's been a ton of fun. Shout out to everybody at P1 Broadcasting, especially the marvelous Andrew Wood. I need to see that station wagon on the track, brother. We need to see it Monday night. Get it out there, Pocono. Let's do it. So everybody at P1 and also Black Magic Studios, Admin Box. Those guys are longtime supporters. I'm looking forward to representing them at the Sim Gaming Expo in September. And yeah, man, just keep going. Would have liked to have won, but I'm happy with second. Keep finishing in the top 5 and good things happen here.
Well, not the winner, but the points leader going into the next race. Congratulations, P2 here today. Mark will catch you tomorrow night when you call the action from Pocono with Jacob Collins, 8 p.m. Eastern time right here on P1.
I need to see the station wagon, Wood. 8 o'clock.
We'll see.
8 o'clock, not 7:59, not 8:01, 8 o'clock.
All right, before...
Got it. Got the clock.
Andrew's like, yeah, whatever. Okay, we'll get Mark out of here. Update from OKC. It is not looking good for the Pacers. OKC leads 79-68 right now with about 35.7 seconds left in the third quarter. Tyrese Halliburton out because of an Achilles injury. He is out for the game. So the Pacers are down a man right now in a critical time. And it looks like OKC is applying the kill shot right now. So there's still a quarter left to play. Anything can happen. And maybe the Indiana basketball gods decide that this is not the night. We'll go down in vain, that we can do this one man short. But Pacers not doing well right now, down 11, 79-68, getting ready to start the fourth quarter. Let's bring up Eric Peterson, a very happy Eric Peterson. Congratulations, sir. We were starting to set the table, and it was such a brilliant finish to this race. 88 start. Today was your 89th start. This is a league that you've been an admin in, but it's been one of those leagues that you've been an admin in that you haven't really cared about your performance. It's just putting on a good product for people to keep coming back to and having fun with, and never really got, your first win. And then finally, the first win happens today in 89th on your 89th start. Congratulations. You've been working your way up into this, my friend. You've been putting a lot of the hours in on the IR18 as of late. We've been seeing you putting hours in the DW12, and those hours have paid off. Congratulations getting that first win. Talk all about it.
Yes, it was It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I said this season, I'm kind of putting switching out the nice guy hat. Not that I'm just going to go out and run over everybody, but there was a lot of give and take and more give from me in the first 7 seasons. And I said, you know what? It's now time to get the elbows out and race. And last year, if this was the same situation when Murph and LGN got around me there with about 10 to go or 8 to go or something like that, I probably would have been happy with third, right? And not tonight, not anymore. So I stuck it underneath and got lucky enough to get in front of Murph there, boys. And it just thank you to those 2 guys for running so clean, knowing how these cars, with the net code and everything like that. It was just enjoyable to be racing around all those guys. And of course, everyone in the league is, they're all good drivers. It's just sometimes, we get maybe a little too aggressive and this not realizing the net code. But it was fun. I'm finally glad I got that monkey off my back and I get to, move on the rest of the year with a win. So feels good.
Yeah, Eric. I mean, I've called a ton of races now, both with Area 51 and with Dark Horse now, and I've watched you. You've had your shot up at the front, but something always happens to go wrong, right? You
Yep.
have a speeding on pit lane, you have some incident on track and stuff like that. So did you feel like today you put everything together in a great strategy call and not just getting your elbows out necessarily, but did you feel like that there was just an extra little bit of spark that you're like, okay, this is my race. I feel confident with the car. I feel confident with my pit stops. I feel confident with the guys around me. Like what actually manifested itself into saying, okay, this is my race tonight?
Yeah, well, it's definitely being in the right place at the right time. Right off the bat, what was it, lap 21, 22, or somewhere in that range? I haven't looked back, but Matt and I got close enough where iRacing God said we're going to send you into the wall, and so I went 2 laps down and then 2 quick yellows. Here I am back on the lead lap and off strategy of where I wanted to be. So I was doing a little math and figuring, okay, I'm going to be to lap 70 and then to lap 120-ish, which still means I got another stop after that, and then the yellows came out and it all fell. It all just seemed to line up. So I don't think it was really anything of my doing. I think a little bit of luck was on my side tonight, with the with the way the cautions fell, with the way the pit stops, and getting through that green flag. I think we had 1 green flag pit cycle where we all got through it, which was good, with no yellows. So but I would have been on the better receiving end of that because the 4 or 5 cars that were in front of us had, pitted earlier, about 10 laps before us. And then I pitted with Murph and everybody else around that same lap time, around 125, I think it was. And we got lucky. So no yellows came out until after the pit cycled through. So it was good. Yeah, just things fell my way, and very fortunate. So.
Well, it's your turn to take all the time you want. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to, getting this big first win here. You've earned it. Go right ahead, man.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks to you guys, Andrew and Gary, you guys do such a great job in the booth. And that's why we stick with P1 Broadcasting for all of our Dark Horse broadcasts. So we appreciate that. And of course, just my teammates, the guys I'm in the Discord with Charlie Teed and Jeff Isong. And then, Matt Wagner might dip in and out every now and then when he switches channels and comes and say hi. So I want to thank all those guys, especially Murph and LGN, just at the end, racing so clean. And of course, my family that, I don't know, they're probably not watching. I'll have to go out and tell the wife that I won. She might watch it. But yeah, thanks for her. She lets me do this. So very kind for that. And again, thanks to you guys. And of course, the whole Dark Horse League and all the drivers. It was a fun race tonight. So appreciate it.
Well, congratulations on the first win. And also, it does put you kind of in reach now of at least second in points. With Schaus not making the lineup, you are now 4th in points overall, 1 point behind John Martins in 3rd, and 6 points behind Schaus in 2nd. So I often think back to when Greg Moore got his first win, and it kind of opened the floodgates for him. Getting that first win is always the hardest one, and then after that, it just seems like they come a little bit easier after that. And that's maybe what you're looking at this season, especially with kind of the way these races are kind of spaced out. It gives you lots of time to practice. So we're off to Kentucky next on a bit of a run. 4th in points, first win. Got to be feeling pretty good. Best of luck and congratulations, and we'll catch you at the next one.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great, blessed night.
Thanks.
Andrew, first-time winners. We love seeing them.
Yeah, it's incredible, really. I was definitely rooting for Peterson when we were calling those last handful of laps there. Just knowing how Murphy races, I was saying to myself, man, I think he's just going to get outsmarted somehow. But I was like, as long as Peterson arcs those corners, both turn 1 and 2 and turn 3 and 4, and doesn't just pinch himself too much and wash up the track, I think he has this. And sure enough, that's why I asked Murphy if there was any chance to pass on the outside during his interview, because it definitely seemed like the inside line was the way to go. So I was just hoping that Peterson would keep it tucked in nicely and be able to get through on the inside on those corners, and he proved what it takes to win a race. So congratulations to him again on getting that first win.
Well, we've started off this season pretty unique. We've now started 4 for 4, 4 races, 4 different winners. Schaus won the opener at Kansas. John Martin won at Pocono. Matt Wagner won at Gateway. Eric Peterson actually won the pole and won the race here. This guy had pace all race long and had to drive out of a little bit of trouble to get this win as well. He gets the win of the 4th race of the season. We get a couple weeks off and go to Kentucky next. Everything's still wide open. There's the schedule on the screen. Kentucky, Auto Club, Michigan, New Hampshire, and Indy. Still a lot can happen here with 5 races remaining here in this 9-race season.
Definitely, we could maybe see a fifth winner in 5 races, and that's what makes this league so unique and so competitive. You see guys like Edson Santos, Rafi Eckert, guys that are always used to running up front. They have the opportunity to put it together for a win too. So let's hope for some more variety, and we'll keep this championship in a very interesting battle to the end here.
Well, that's going to do it here for tonight. We'll give everyone back their Sunday nights, and we'll get on out of here.
Go Pacers.
Yeah, get an update. Let's see where we're at here real quick. 84-68. With 11:05 left in the 4th quarter. So, I don't know. It might take a bit of a Hoosier hysteria miracle in order to pull this one out. We need to channel our inner coach from Hoosiers to see Coach Dale, see what happens here. Anyways, let's get on out of here. Give everyone back their Sunday nights. There we see the incident with Peterson actually happening, part of the replay package. That was a low point of the race, everybody. Believe me, it goes
better from there.
It went all uphill from there. So that's it for today. Once again, your podium from Iowa Speedway for the joy of driving at 200. Let's see, we got Eric Peterson getting his first win right here, and then Mark Murphy. Again, always so strong. He is your points leader, and Luis Gonzalez Nunez with a strong race comes home 3rd. Join Andrew and myself again Sunday, July 13th for round 5 of the Dark Horse Racing Series. The teams and drivers head to Kentucky Speedway. Coverage begins around 8 p.m. Eastern time. Again, it's 8:00 p.m. Eastern. Remember, it's an all-new season still. And as always, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of P1's other iRacing programming, including coverage of the IndyCar. The iRacing IndyCar Open Series at Pocono at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's tomorrow night. And the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series at Milwaukee at 8:15 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night. If you like iRacing IndyCar racing, then make sure P1 is your home on Monday and Tuesday nights. Tonight's Iowa 200 and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by The Joy of Driving. Looking for entertaining sim racing content? Well, look no further than The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's racing escapades as he battles for wins and avoids wrecks with cat-like reflexes, all the while providing commentary to make sure you laugh, cry, or do both. Follow along by subscribing to The Joy of Driving on YouTube or like his Facebook page at The Joy of Driving. Links are in the description. Tonight's race, but also brought to you by 4D Racewear and SimWrap Market. Check out 4D Racewear's Racers line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's stream description. Simrat Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. From clean base liveries to pro-level design assets, Simrat Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. They also offer high-quality track cam packs for your streams to give your replays and your streams that cinematic, polished look. Visit simratmarket.com, download, customize, race. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, you can like them on Facebook. You can follow on X and Instagram. The links are in the description for business inquiries. To learn more about P1 and what we do, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram, and you can follow all of our social links on Linktree. You can check those out in the description. So, for Andrew Wood, everyone here at Dark Horse Series, and the joy of driving, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all, thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here, July 13th in Kentucky, for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series, presented by The Joy of Driving, right here on P1. Good night, and for what it's worth, go Pacers. Good night, everybody.